Here is our 2014 Dodge Ram 5500. This is the 6.7 liter diesel engine, 4-wheel drive. Does have a 19.5 foot Century bed on it with also the auto grip wheel lift. Now this truck, I've been running it. I will go ahead and start the truck for you. Kind of give you a good walk around of this truck. You can see there's a scratch here on the door. A little bit, wear and tear from going in and out of the truck on the sill plate there, right on the rocker. There's a little bit of a dent right here. That could probably put a plunger on that and pop that out, I'm guessing. There's a couple little dingers along the front bumper. The engine itself, there's no leaks or anything. Now, this is kind of a unique story of how we got this truck. This is a local Minnesota truck here. I am familiar with the company that used to own this truck. However, we got it from the insurance company themselves. Now, this truck came to us in kind of unique condition. I think there was a lot of theft on it. Basically, both batteries were stolen out of it. So we have brand new, as you can see, 7 of 18. 2 brand new Mopar batteries were put in it. The AC didn't work, and the reason why the AC didn't work is because there was a hole in the front condenser, so we put a brand new Mopar condenser right here in the front. I don't know how well you can see that. Of course, we cleaned out all the coolers and whatnot of all the debris that's always in the radiator fins and whatnot, so it cools really well, so the AC works great. All 6 tires were bald. So we also had all 6 tires installed brand new. These tires have not even 200 miles on them. Now, here's where it gets a little goofy. This truck itself actually had damage here to, you can see the control box here to the right rear control box. Both boxes were bent up pretty good. As you can see, this one here for the auto grip is still bent. We are not able to get that box because we were told it's going to take about 3 months to get that box once it's ordered. Couldn't find anybody that's got it on hand, so there is a back order on that. Well, I can't hang on to this truck and wait 3 months just for that box, so we're going to sell it to you. It's up to you if you want to choose to get that box or straighten it out or make a new one, however you want to do it. But the main control box that we did get brand new for you, so there's no issues there. All the controls do work, and I'll show you that here in a second. Other words, up in here, this here is fine, but this support here, somebody zip tied that. I didn't do that, we didn't do that. That was there before. I don't know if that had anything to do with the accident or not, but otherwise, looking up here underneath, you can see there's no damage up here underneath the bed at all. There's just a few little scuffs here, right here. Again, no clue what happened. This light here is broken, but other than that, everything else works just fine. You can see standing back, the bed's straight. There's no issues there. Looking back here down the frame rail, you can see that's straight as well. I mean, there's really no issues there at all. The auto grip itself, the T-bar itself is fine. It was missing this plug here, so we got that plug, and it was also missing the center pin. So we got the pin new so we could remount the bar in here. Everything looks fine on this side. However, this side here, it's missing the hydraulic ram that's inside. The pin works. Oops. Of course, now it's kind of rusted in place, but I do promise you this will open and close just fine. There's no issues here at all. Doesn't look bent. As you can see, the lift is straight, but there is no hydraulic assembly on this side. I would grease that. Again, it is 4-wheel drive. Aluminum bed, the auto load wheel lift. Another thing that was missing was the winch cable, so we did get you a brand new winch cable as well. And looking inside the truck here, I'll turn our PTO on. And actually I'll turn everything on just so you can see what we got. This light up here is not working. The other lights are fine. Of course, our top lights. These will be our turn signals and our brake lights, so those will come on if I hit the hazard lights. In other words, I'll use these controls for the bed. You can see the bed goes back. The noise that you're hearing is actually this here. That will shut off. I turn that on. I believe that's that one there. So now that funny noise you were hearing is gone. But that's here. This is an air pump. It's 12 volt. And in here is the air hose reel for it. So I do not know if this works. I don't have air tools that fit onto that, so I'm unable to verify if it works or not, so don't hold me to that. In other words, everything else in here you can see is fine. You saw me, well actually here, I'll continue to use this side. And then here on the wheel lift, we can go down. You can see that works just fine. And then we can go out as well. Even the light in here works in the box. So basically all you really need, and it's just up to you whether or not you want to make the wheel lift work or not, you do need that hydraulic ram for inside there. Looks like we do have our straps, chains for the wheel lift. So this here is what it's supposed to look like with this box here on the side. And all this lever does is just run the jaws for the wheel lift itself. Coming back inside, I'll shut our PTO down, but basically that's what we got is our 4 auxiliaries: PTO, traction control, tow haul, and then our exhaust brake. Here's our 4-wheel drive. The camera is supposed to come on in reverse, but as you can see when I put the truck in reverse, all I get is kind of a gargled line. So that tells me that, you know, and with the goofy display, you need a new display to make the backup camera work. But it appears that the camera itself back there would work. Looks like I do not have an owner's manual. The top of the dash here is chewed up just a little bit. The steering wheel's got kind of some electrical tape on it just from old age. Usually a typical thing is the seat itself is usually chewed up here and missing on a Dodge Ram with this many miles, but the seat's in great condition. But as far as the steering wheel goes, we actually have another Dodge Ram steering wheel that we're just going to give you. We have that laying around here. So now as far as the interior of this truck goes, as you can see, there's currently 178,522 miles on this truck, and we do have a check engine light on right there. Now the check engine light, which I did bring my scanner along so I can tell you what the code is. The check engine light is basically because the batteries were gone out of this truck. The ECM needs to be reflashed, so that way it can learn the, which I'll actually do a fresh start for you too. But the ECM, basically the engine computer, needs to be reflashed because of the vent. But I'll show you that when we get going. But I've only got one key for you. And I'll go ahead and open the door actually too, just to give you a fresh check. So there, she starts up, no check engine lights or anything like that other than this one check engine light here. And that's the perform service. We did, like I say, we did give it a fresh oil change, so all of that's new. We got a backup light out there. And that is it. So we'll go out, we'll do a little test drive. There's no drivability concerns with this truck whatsoever. I've actually been using this truck quite a bit around our shop. We do have another rollback that we use, but this one's kind of been convenient to use a time or two, so I have used it to haul some vehicles. Believe I've put approximately, I believe about 200 miles on this truck already, and no issues whatsoever. It's really quiet in here. Our other truck is a diesel as well, and for some odd reason that one's extremely loud. This one, I don't know what the deal is, but this one's extremely quiet. I don't know if they put new catalytic converter or a different style for a different year, or what they did, but they did something to make it quieter. There's a drawer here. There's one of the lights. Lots of traffic today. So as I was saying, this truck kind of came to us in a goofy circumstance. There was no body panels or anything like that replaced. Now I'm going to actually get on the gas here pretty good, just so you can see. And looking out the rear view mirror, well here, looking out the back, you can see that there is no smoke or anything like that blowing out the back. And here we're doing about 68 miles an hour. So anyway, as I was saying, is there was a lot of things, or a couple of little things that were stolen off of this truck, and I don't know why or how, but the batteries were stolen out of it, and that's actually the reason why we have our check engine light. I did try to take it to our dealership to get them to reflash it. However, of course, you know, when you bring a truck in with 178,000 miles, and our dealership here is known for not being very friendly, so I would personally go to another town and take it there if you know somebody, and they'll reflash it. But at 178,000 miles, they wanted to go through the truck top to bottom and give it a 178,000 mile tune-up, and the truck doesn't need anything else other than basically the reflash. Of course, at the time we brought it in, it needed tires, so they were trying to sell us tires, and they wouldn't do anything unless we basically spent more money with them. But as you can see, we're going highway speeds here. It doesn't pull one way or another. Nothing rattles. As you can see, I'm taking my hands off the steering wheel, not touching it at all. We're still going straight down the road. We'll do it again here once this car passes us. But right here, I'm not touching the steering wheel at all. Of course, my other hand's on the camera. We're still going straight down the road. So, no drivability issues at all. Now, another thing that kind of my camera does here is it makes these little LCDs, and I can see it here on my camera display, that it looks like this is flickering or flashing. I promise you that's just the way my camera is picking up the display. It's not flickering or flashing or anything like that. It looks exactly normal the way that it's supposed to.